Today, Knock TV is going to a place that no man should go. And that is the slippery kaleidoscope of a universe that is right-wing conspiracy theory. Welcome back, you beautiful, beautiful people. I'm your boy Knock, and today I have a good one for you. Today we're going to take a journey, and to guide us on that journey is going to be a person whom I've never covered before, whom I've never responded before. And today I'm not even going to really respond to her. I'm just going to let her take us on that journey. And that person is former Daily Wire consultant. Now she runs a YouTube channel of her own, Brett Cooper.
I am so excited.
And let me tell you, as a person that has covered right-wing conspiracy for the past 8 years off and on, I thought I had heard them all. But now we're about to enter the realm of the truly cuckoo.
Guys, is Barron Trump a time traveler? Also, is Trump possibly visiting us as a past president from the 1800s? Those are questions that are circling online right now. Now, the Trump family obviously has been quick to deny all of these rumors of the president's son being a time traveler. I mean, like, nobody in their right mind is actually gonna be like, yes, Donald Trump's son is a time traveler, let's confirm this. But that right there is the craziest conspiracy that is currently taking the internet by storm.
Yes, there are people out there that believe that Barron Trump and the Trump family are traveling through time. Now, my first inclination with this story was to do some satirical attempt to embrace this and have this as the explanation for everything. You know, like Donald Trump has had his hands on the sacred timeline, and now we've branched off into this alternate reality, right? This nexus event, right? And we need the Avengers. But, you know, doing a test run, I didn't do a good job of expressing that this was just satire. So, you know, in retrospect, I have just decided to just go at this, right? Like, this is silly. There's no reason to believe that anybody is time traveling right now, and for very good reasons. All right, so Einstein has technically proven that forward time travel is possible. But in order to achieve this, you would need to be traveling at near light speed, if not light speed itself. Or you would need to be literally like sitting next to a black hole, so time would go slower. Therefore, you would age slower. You would move forward through time at a different pace from everybody else. So we do recognize that forward time travel is a possibility. In order for the Trumps to be traveling forward in time, they would need a spaceship capable of traveling at light speed. And to make this point, humanity has already observed micro time travel in real time. Astronauts on the ISS space station age just slightly slower than everybody else when they're on that space station. But going back in time is a totally different conundrum. While there are solutions in the theory of relativity to provide for the possibility of it, it's just not a thing that can happen. The theory of relativity makes way for backward time travel with things like wormholes or a black hole. But theoretically, most physicists would tell you it's impossible. In fact, going back in time faces several challenges, like the need for exotic matter and the need for paradoxes such as the grandfather paradox. All right, so we got the debunking out of the way. This isn't something that is really happening, but it is something that's fun, and it is something that a lot of right-wingers are starting to believe. So let's find out why.
So in order to understand this now viral story, we need to take it all the way back to the late 1800s, because this is where this conspiracy theory originates. So Ingersoll Lockwood, who is an American lawyer, a diplomat, and author, wrote a series of children's novellas, which starred a protagonist named Barron Trump. So you can see the covers of the books here. There are two of them. The first one was called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey, and then the second was called The Travels and Adventures of Little Baron Trump.
All right, I know, like, that's weird, right? Like me personally, first time I heard this, I'm like, wow, man, I don't have any memoirs of Nakasuchi, the memoirs of Nak from 1776. But if you really just sit down and relax a bit and just think about it, you'd see that, like, this happens all the time. Like, people name people off of famous characters. People name people off of obscure characters in books that they find all the time. Coincidence happens, right? So, Donald Trump names his son Barron. Maybe Donald Trump was aware of the character Baron Trump, or maybe Melania was aware of the character Baron Trump, or maybe they just named their son Baron. Their last name happens to be Trump, and by pure circumstance, those names just happen to line up. And there's going to be other circumstances as well, and this is what conspiracy does. It's going to string along fact and circumstance to put together a theory that you're going to be able to start justifying to yourself could be true. That is the point of conspiracy theory. But again, I tell you, going back in the past time travel is physically impossible. At least as far as impossible as I'm willing to go. I personally don't believe anything is impossible. I personally believe that at some point we might be able to break that impossibility. But just right now, with the technology that we have, with the knowledge that we have, going back in time is not possible.
But we can't stop there. Because in these novellas, Little Baron Trump was a wealthy young boy who lived in some place called Castle Trump and went on time-traveling adventures with his dog. And you might think, okay, that's funny. He's living in like the equivalent of Trump Tower. But we can dial in even more. Because back in the 80s, Trump was actually in the casino business. And for a time, one of his New Jersey casinos was named Trump Castle. And you can see an old commercial right here. They did all of these like royalty-themed commercials. And then you can see Trump's castle.
More coincidence. How much coincidence can you take? And there's going to be more and more and more. How much can you take, right? So, in the story, Baron lives in Trump Castle. And wouldn't you know, Donald Trump, the emperor of failing casinos, named one of those failing casinos for a brief moment of time, Trump Castle. Now, let's not be rational and think about like Trump has had a theme of this, like the Taj Mahal. He has a theme running of luxury, of opulence, palaces, right? Like, this is just Trump. And you might notice, like, I'm not going at Brett Cooper here. She's not portraying this in a manner to where, like, she's promoting this as a truth. She's portraying it in a manner as, listen to this silly little story that some people are believing. So I'm not going to go at her for this. I will go at her moving forward for some of the things she says and does. She's going to be a person that I'm going to try to cover on this channel. I find her interesting. I find the demographic that she represents interesting. But I'm not going to go at her here because she's just telling a silly little story, and I'm here for the ride.
And also in the book, the Trump family, the family of Baron Trump, is of German descent, much like our modern-day Trumps are now. And yet, guys, it still gets even stranger. Because Ingersoll Lockwood did not just write The Marvelous Adventures of Baron Trump, he also wrote another novella. This one he wrote in 1896, and this one was called The Last President. It also went by 1900s, so it had two different titles, but most commonly it is known as The Last President. And it follows a unlikely populist leader, an unexpected outsider candidate who happens to win the presidency in the United States of America, ushering in, unfortunately, the downfall of the USA.
I know, like, no way, bro. Wrote a book called The Last President. But, like, is Baron Trump a part of that book? Is the Trump family a part of that book? Is he talking about the Trumps? I mean, I would probably maintain, especially at the end of the 1800s, post-Civil War, with the atrocity of Reconstruction going on, that many people probably looked at the country and thought, yeah, this ain't gonna last for very long. And again, this is what conspiracy theory does. It's going to take a fact and it's going to string it along with a bunch of coincidence, and it's going to try to put it together into this word salad of a theory that you can get behind and start to rationalize to yourself could possibly be true. But again, to move forward in time, the one thing that we think is possible, the one thing that we have observed in reality, to do that, like, you would literally need to be on like the USS Enterprise at warp speed.
But listen to this. This author writes, the second book, The Last President, is where things get even stranger in regards to this conspiracy theory. It describes a shocking and contentious election that leaves New York City, Trump's hometown, in chaos. Protesters storm Fifth Avenue, where Trump Tower stands today, led by anarchists and socialists outraged by the election of a populist president. Adding to the intrigue, the fictional president appoints a man named Pence to his cabinet. I mean, come on. It's just like, this is so much fun. It's so crazy, but it is so much fun because we still are not finished.
Like, she's not wrong. This is a lot of fun, right? And I can totally see people getting behind this and thinking this is real. Like, no way, Mike Pence, and it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. But yeah, so there's a character not named Mike Pence, named Pence, which was probably a common name. I'm probably gonna assume in late 1800s America. Pence, I believe that was a form of coin exchange, right? Like 2 pence. So there's this character Pence in a separate book, not relating to the Trump family, but relating to the last president. Now, I am going to go out on a limb and say Donald Trump is not going to be the last president of the United States. I could be wrong. They might just go full fash. But at this point, I think they lost that battle. And I really, really, really hope this video doesn't age badly to where I'm going to have to be like confessing in court at the trial for my execution that I was wrong.
Elon obviously makes us think of Tesla, and what do you know? Iconic inventor and engineer Nikola Tesla is also part of this theory. So this is what TikTok has to say. Just watch.
Donald Trump's uncle, John G. Trump, worked for the FBI. Now, when Nikola Tesla died, they sent him in because he's a scientist, he's a physicist, engineer, smart guy. So they were like, hey, go in to Nikola Tesla's, room and decipher all his works and whatnot. Because, Nikola Tesla discovered free energy and a multitude of things, right?
Boom, knock. Like, what are you gonna do now? Yeah, like maybe humans haven't invented, time travel, but Nikola Tesla was clearly in contact with aliens. And there is a lot of conspiracy around Nikola Tesla, and without a doubt, reality has shown Nikola Tesla was a man well before his time, right? But I'm gonna just ascertain that, John Trump was probably not the only one. Like, there was probably people there with him, that he wasn't able to get his hands on some time traveling device without other people knowing it, and he wouldn't be able to get away, the family wouldn't be able to get away with jumping through time over the past, 50, 60 years without anybody noticing. And as we're going to see, they weren't even thinking about time travel. They were thinking about weapons. What was Nikola Tesla making at the end of his life? The dude claimed to have some kind of death ray.
Here's the thing. They aren't necessarily saying anything that's untrue, because Trump's FBI uncle did, after his death, go through Tesla's research. Listen to this. On January 9th, 1943, 2 days after Nikola Tesla died destitute in a New York City hotel, the FBI called MIT professor and esteemed electrical engineer John G. Trump to determine if any of the belongings in the investor's estate, which included a purported weapon of mass destruction that Tesla called the death ray, would be dangerous if they fell into enemy hand.
And I'm gonna maintain they probably found some notes, they probably found some weird things he was working on, but they didn't find that death ray, and they didn't find a time machine, right? We don't see people going around shooting people with death rays. And by now, I'm fairly certain that had they found that technology, we'd be seeing that in real time. I'm also fairly certain the United States government isn't gonna allow John Trump to just steal one of the most important technological creations in the history of mankind, which would be time travel, right? Like, I just don't think the Trumps would be able to get their hands on that and keep it. But yeah, that's just me thinking, right? Like, I don't think that this is a legitimate possibility. You know, the last iteration of this video, the one that I deleted, I was pretending that I did think that this was the explanation for everything, right? But it's not. The explanation for everything is that we have half of the population that are racist and bigots. A racist bigot came along and lied to them, fueling their racism and bigotry to support his lies. And now we're in this predicament where everybody's realizing they've been lied to.
And there is a theory out there that Nikola Tesla was already time traveling, in a sense, that he was, receiving information from the future. He was possibly even in contact with aliens. I know you're probably going like, Brett, hold on. But guys, this is not even like a weird 4chan TikTok theory. Look at this clip from the History Channel.
Some ancient astronaut theorists believe there may be another explanation for Tesla's uncanny abilities and mysterious visions. They suggest these spontaneous episodes are proof that Tesla was receiving information from an otherworldly source.
These images would literally burst into his mind. Somehow, somewhere, some connection was made. And it's the same way that biblical prophets received their prophecy.
And there you have everything you need to know to tell you that this is a bunk-ass conspiracy theory. Like, anything that has to link ancient astronaut theory, especially the ancient astronaut theory of the History Channel, is clearly stretching. Now, like, I have to remind you, like, the History Channel isn't a channel designed to promote history. It's a channel designed to get ratings, and they're trying to get ratings. And the ancient astronaut theory got them a lot of high ratings. But the ancient astronaut theory is just wrong. Not saying that aliens didn't have something to do with the creation of our civilization. I guess it might be a possibility. There's just no reason to believe that. And while there is a lot of speculation and conspiracy theory around Nikola Tesla himself, we have no reason, no proof that he was visited by aliens, that he was traveling through time, that he was doing any of these things, except for being a very eccentric old man in his end of days.
Now, tying this all back together, the alleged conspiracy goes that what actually happened 2 days after Nikola Tesla's death was that Trump's uncle did find something in his hotel room. He found Tesla's time travel plans, and now the entire Trump family, maybe some elites, but the Trump family for sure, has access to this kind of technology, and that runs congruently with Barron, the time-traveling boy from the 1800s theory as well. Or the other theory is that Lockwood, the author, was just some kind of prophet. So there are two theories here: Trump family time travelers, a prophet from the 1800s, maybe they work together, I have no idea.
You know, I don't know if Brett Cooper believes this. I'm thinking she doesn't. Like, this is a fantastical tale that's fun to tell, fun to think about, a fun thought experiment, right? But the Trumps aren't traveling through time. This author was not some prophet. He was probably a man of his times, trying to spin a yarn, make some extra money. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe one day we'll have that vindication moment, like a lot of these conspiracy theorists had with Epstein. If they choose to take that vindication moment, if they choose to not defend the ring of pedophiles at the center of it, but they had that vindication moment. And maybe these conspiracy theorists will as well. Maybe we'll impeach Trump. Maybe we'll arrest the entire family, raid their properties, and maybe we'll find it, a time-traveling machine. And maybe we'll have to go about the next 50 years putting everything back in order on the sacred timeline. But I highly doubt it. As always, I'm your boy Nakasuchi. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, interact with the channel. We're very small, we're new. Help me build this thing. Be a part of building something new. I want to thank you for watching the video, especially if you watched it all the way through. I hope you had as much fun with it as I did. I'll see you soon.